And
Um, all happening now. Thank you, Maxine.
Thank you, Joanne, and thank you, Mark, and good morning, colleagues. Before I introduce myself in the Practical Legal Training Program at UTS, I would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. That's where I'm coming to you this morning, and I pay my respects to elders past and present, and I acknowledge that their land was never ceded. So thank you for the opportunity. I'm very sorry I came in late to that discussion because it's, if you know anything about UTS, and as Joanne said, universities shouldn't be in competition with each other. It's all about the profession and future lawyers. We have a social justice focus in our course here at UTS, and the work that you're talking about that I caught at the end, I hope that we capture the skills in our PLT program to assist our graduates to become very well-informed social justice, ethical citizens that move into areas, particularly around community law. So if I may share my screen, I've just got a couple of slides. So I'm Maxine. I look after the PLT program here at UTS. And can you see those slides there, Mark?
Yeah, all good.
Thank you. So probably know those of you that are undertaking your law degree, you make the decision that you want to go into practice as a lawyer. We're all required to do practical legal training. There's been a bit of controversy around the PLT programs following some comments made by the Chief Justice earlier this year in relation to quality and costs. I can assure you, and any of you that have friends or family or yourselves that might have done some earlier study at UTS, we are very focused on the quality of our legal education, and I will give you a little bit of information about fees towards the end. So you can see on this slide how we deliver our practical legal training program at UTS. It's via a graduate certificate in professional legal practice. And I've just put up there on the slides what I consider to be the main reasons why you might consider coming to do your PLT with us. As I said, very similar to Charles Sturt University in terms of our focus around lawyering, around practice, around working for and with the Indigenous people, etc. So we believe, a very holistic education program here. I won't go into a lot of detail, but enough hopefully for you to understand the options that you have with the PLT program at UTS. Of course, I understand that many of you are living outside of Sydney, so I'm sure a question that comes to front of mind is, can I study PLT program online? Yes, you can. Our PLT program here at UTS was established in 1996, and we've always had an off-campus component as well as on-campus option. So we have two streams at the moment that we're offering to our students, and the difference between those streams really comes down to the number of practical experience days you are able to undertake. We have a 65-day option and a 20-day option. Practical experience is a compulsory part of practical legal training. It's a requirement set by the Legal Profession Admission Board in the admission rules, and every student that undertakes PLT must do at least 15 days practical workplace experience. So we have a 20-day option and we have a 65-day option. We find our students at UTS, some of them just find it a challenge to undertake practical experience for a lengthy period of time, particularly in those positions such as volunteer work where it's unpaid. So thinking about the number of days you can afford for your workplace experience in balancing with the number of coursework subjects. So obviously, the more days you do 3 coursework subjects. If you take the 20-day option, you do 4 coursework subjects, which of course impacts on fees because you're paying for 4 subjects rather than 3. Practical experience is free, but for some, no cost. For some students, so making that balance between paid work and otherwise. So as I said, we offer an on-campus mode as well as an online mode. Used to be called off-campus. We tend to refer to it now as online. Are we still okay?
Yes, all good.
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah, I just had an interloper, I think, Mark,
Okay, I'm just muting a
but
few.
helpful in relation to applications. One of our recent changes this year to our PLT program, we've just been through a refresh of the program, is to introduce more electives. And I hope that some of these will be appealing to Charles Sturt students because they have a fairly broad focus. Electives are prescribed, again, under the admission rules, and we have taken all of the electives, other than admin law, to now put into our program. So as you can see, we have a range of banking and finance or planning and environmental, criminal or family, both popular electives, consumer or employment law, and all students undertake wills and estate. It is an elective, but we have it as a compulsory part of our subject on skills and wills. It's very much focused on the type of practice and tools and approaches that you were talking about earlier in relation to the work around children and young people, interviewing, resilience, trauma-informed lawyering, etc. Flexible delivery, as I've already mentioned. For those of you who are in Sydney, we'd love to have you to our beautiful building. I don't know if probably everybody knows about the ugly tower at UTS. We're next to that tower, but we have some fantastic facilities for students, including a moot court and 2 trial courts. So there is that on-campus option, 1 day a week for several weeks, and then there's the online option, which is evening workshops from 6 to 8 p.m. online. We do have a couple of assessments that at first blush make perfect sense that they happen on campus. So our advocacy, our interviewing, and our negotiation. However, we know with our students that sometimes, for particular circumstances, it is difficult to come onto campus, and we do make accommodation for those students. I will say, and Mark and some of your colleagues would be aware of this, that the Legal Profession Admission Board is carrying out an inquiry into PLT at the moment. One of the board's concerns is in relation to online, but as you would know, at Charles Sturt, online education can work really well. This is a lot of detail to take in, but if you are completing your LLB and you have 1 or 2 subjects left, not your priestly subjects, but your electives, you can commence your PLT at the same time as you're completing 1 or 2 electives. That's an LPAB rule. If you are in that situation, you think, oh, it'd be fantastic to start PLT, I haven't got much of my LLB left to do, then have a look at the New South Wales Legal Profession Admission Board's website, and you can see whether you would qualify for the early commencement of PLT. And of course, we take students that are finishing off their degree and commencing their PLT. A little bit complicated, but set out on the LPAB's website. As you do at Charles Sturt, we have a fantastic career service here at UTS. So once you come to us, you are a postgraduate student undertaking a graduate certificate in professional legal practice. You, of course, can access all the services, both as an online student or as an on-campus student. And we do work with the career service to assist students to find placements. We can't guarantee placements for our students, but we can certainly give you some assistance and support in securing your work experience. And then finally, there are our fees for this year. You can find more information on our website. We have also just done university-wide project about updating our website. So hopefully it's working, and that will give you an idea of what the fees are. And again, depending whether you do stream A, the 3 subjects in 65 days, or stream B, 4 subjects and 20 days. So that's all I've got. It was a very quick visit to UTS and our PLT program. I don't know, Mark, whether you've got time to allow, if any students have any questions, very happy to answer those, or alternatively, I'm sure Mark has provided my contact details. Very happy to have a one-on-one meeting with you via Teams or Zoom to provide further information, particularly if you have your own circumstances, and see how they fit into undertaking your PLT.
We can pass those on to Wayne, and thanks, Maxine. We've got some time, 1 or 2 minutes. I just put in the chat there, the fee help type of postgrad support from the government is available to meet those fees, Maxine.
Yes, it is. Unfortunately, Mark, we don't have any CSU places in our PLT program, but fee help, as with all postgraduate courses, applies. Yeah.
Yep. Great. So no CSP places, no HEX sort of only places.
Yes.
So it's the fee help government loan, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Great. Thanks so much, Maxine. Just maybe one clarifying question from me for students who might not know. A lot of our students are in the workspace. In terms of the 20 days practical training, does that have to be consecutively done? I'm just thinking if they have leave, they might want to, so it does have to be 20 days in.
It's a great question. If you opt for stream A and do the 65 days, you can do 45 of those before you commence your PLT coursework subject. So for some students that are here, they're getting close to the end of their LLB and they're working in a legal environment, and that's quite generally defined. It can be volunteer work, as long as you've got a lawyer in that workplace that will be your supervisor. So the 65 days, 45 you can discharge before you start PLT. The remaining 20 you can do during your coursework study or up to 12 months after you complete your coursework. With the 20 days, Joanne, you have to do those with your coursework or in 12 months following. So you can't draw back even if you're working in a legal workplace now. But hopefully, if you're in a legal workplace, once you start your PLT and you opt for the 20 days, you can then stay there, of course. We say to students, if you are in a legal workplace and you've been there for a while, so it's up to 2 years before you start PLT, 65 days and 3 subjects is your best option because it's the least expensive. If you're finding it hard to get practical experience, you've got another career where finding work in a legal environment is just very difficult, then we would suggest that you take the 20 days and do that whilst you're doing your coursework, or up to 12 months when you complete.
Maybe one last question before we commence the Bologna session. Andrew's asking, Maxine, does voluntary work for a Queensland law firm count as practice for New South Wales accreditation?
Yes, it does. So all you need is someone in that workplace that will act as your supervisor and is able to say you were doing general legal work for X amount of days. We're very open here in New South Wales to welcome our colleagues from other states and territories. So it doesn't matter if you're doing that work in Queensland. You're even allowed to claim some work overseas if it's a common law jurisdiction.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Maxine. And I think we have your details. If students have any more specific questions, they're welcome to contact you.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Mark, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Thank you.
All the best.